Hello, Professor. My name is Cole Clarkson, and this is our final presentation. In my group, we have Kyle and Dan, and the topic we
Hello.
chose was instructions within recipes. Um, and kind of why we chose, well, in the proposal, why we chose instructions within recipes is I think it's super unique to see different opportunities that we see professional writing done in our own lives that we just don't ever really see. And so I think that was super unique about our project. But here's our next slide. So the roles that we had, let's see. So the roles we had was I was the coordinator, and then Kyle was the researcher, and Dan was the editor. And so we think that a lot of our project was within professional writing because of, the professional writing that's within recipes that we use on a nightly basis every time we cook dinner. And some of our results from our research was in the process of studying various recipes and their components, we found multiple different strategies that improve their creation. We chose our favorite recipes to analyze in scholarly articles that provided that scientific background to the psychology of effects of such studies. And so we thought it was super successful from our research and what we found. And so with our research, then with Kyle being our researcher, then he'll talk about what he kind of found out.
Yeah, thanks. So for our research process, we had a combination of scholarly articles and recipes, like Cole said. And when Cole first originally made the proposal, he had a couple articles already, and those just talked about the different studies, the scientific studies behind recipe creation, such as the psychology and like the skeleton of a recipe and what makes it easier to follow, which was really interesting to learn about, and made an interesting tie to professional writing, because you wouldn't think that recipes would be professional writing, but it was interesting to see how the scholarly articles kind of made the recipes, put them in perspective in a professional setting. And then for the recipes that we chose for our content analysis, Cole, Dan, and I each selected 2 recipes that are our favorites. And in the process of researching these recipes, we looked at what the recipes were about, like the food the food being created, how it related to our research question, and why we decided that recipe, and that's because it was our favorite. The terms and the patterns that we looked for in the recipes, as far as like ease of creation, or just like the different ingredients, the amount of ingredients, or like the layout of the recipe, how easy it was to follow, and the different aspects such as videos or pictures of ingredients or of the process of making, of going through the recipe. And then we took the opportunity to rate each recipe that we analyzed on a scale to see which ones were the easiest to follow and which ones were the hardest to follow. And then we compiled all of our research into a report, and that is where Dan came in as our editor.
Yeah, so going off what Kyle was talking about with the research, so he analyzed our research, and that really helped me in writing the report because where's that? On the recipes part, he analyzed them very well and like gave us very detailed instructions on his opinions on it. Also, you used like the Canvas videos that Professor gave us, and looked at the PowerPoints. That really helped me on writing the report. Also, like having the YouTube videos, and the main things that popped out to me about the report was just having the learning styles, culture, cost, design, and the psychology when it comes to the recipes. Many cultures have their own special recipe, and some people like to use the cost-effective recipes, so things that will give them more for the cost. And with the psychology with the recipes, like cooking with people can improve mood, self-esteem, socialization, and overall like brings good mental health. And different recipes can be tackled with different learning styles, such as auditory and visual. And a good tip that I heard when you want to learn more about this is meeting with actual recipe makers, because they can give you like firsthand experience when making them. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Dan. And so we kind of wanted to finish off and I'll talk about kind of what we learned and what was applied in this project. First thing we learned was how to work as a team and really keep each other updated and like ask for assistance when needed. This is kind of my time to brag about this team. We had our nickname, the winning team. We were super successful throughout the entire project, and we were able to, communicate well with one another, and to, keep on the due dates and know when things were due. And that was kind of with the learning outcome number 6 within the course. And the second thing is we learned how to look for scholarly articles, and kind of with the learning outcomes 1 and 2 about, just how to look for articles that are, scholarly based and that they're actually worth looking at and using in our project. The third thing was to analyze articles and recipes, and that was kind of within learning outcome number 5. And I think this was super important for us to be able to use to get some credibility to our project. And then lastly was to create a report and write our script and our presentation within the learning outcome number 4. And so that was super important for all 3 of us to learn these different skills that we can, use towards the future. And kind of speaking towards the future, I think that I can say as the group that we really enjoyed working together on this project. This project was super unique, and we were able to keep on it and keep on the due dates, and we worked really well together. And so I thought this was a super successful project, and we really enjoyed working together. And so this was our final presentation. We hope you enjoyed, and can't wait to finish up the semester.